Γεια σας και από μένα. Είμαι σίγουρος ότι το expectation είναι ότι όταν μιλάει η Y δεν είναι τόσο ενδιαφέρον όσο η Google, η OpenAI κτλ. Θα προσπαθήσω να το κάνω λίγο πιο πρακτικό και θα μιλήσω στα αγγλικά απλώς και μόνο για να μην χρησιμοποιώ εκφράσεις ελληνικά-αγγλικά. So, the question that we are trying to deal with when we're talking with clients is we see a lot of what, but not a lot of how. So, how for a company that is not a tech giant and knows how to solve those things. So here's how it goes. My name is Elias Vyzas. I'm leading consulting, but also I'm leading AI and data for the Greek Center of Excellence and also for the region of Europe Central, which is 33 countries. We started this journey back in September 13. We are now 400 people. Yes, 2013. It was called Data and Analytics back then. Now it's called AI and Data, obviously. So we are 400 people, we have more than 35 PhDs, and we've done projects in more than 35 countries. So, and just to credentialize the team, we also have 7 people from MIT. I'm also from Imperial and MIT. So we have a background that allows us not to be the hands, but also to be part of a thought process. And I'm just, we have actually heavily led and contributed. Έγινε, ευχαριστώ πολύ. Thanks. So we have actually led or contributed in most of the thought process that I'm going to show and I'm going to share. So last year in the room next door, Lazarus Polymenakos, who's heading the AI team of the AI and Data Center of Excellence, showed that how we build an agent. You start from a set of skills that you have available. This is conceptual, but you get the point. Then what you do is you take any process, you break the process into the tasks, the arrows, the chevrons, and for each one of those tasks, you identify the skills that you need in order to perform that task. If you join those skills into an agent, that agent can perform that task. By putting those agents all together into an agentic architecture that has the skills on the right and then the agents that use those skills and an orchestrator agent in front, then the user through a unique user interface can actually solve their problem conceptually, perform that process. Now, what is interesting is actually we didn't build agents exactly the same way that we show here, but we didn't realize it. What we actually did, and what is now obvious, is the following. Because you have access not only to human capabilities and constraints, but also to AI capabilities and constraints, you can actually redesign the process, you can reimagine the process, and that's when you get much more value out of it. For example, what is 4i principle in an agentic world? Do I have to go through all the departments? Do I have to go through the exact hops? Do I need exactly the same type of skilled people, or do I need to change all that? And if we put all that together, we understand that there was a journey. We started with Chatbots, then we went to Copilots, and now we are at Agentic AI. And the difference is that from trying to solve a task, we went into business process, and now we are at the business function level. And this actually is the what. Now, the question is the how. And because I'm going to build on it, I'm just going to start with an empty slide, and I'm going to go slide by slide down the pyramid. And this will eventually become the framework of our AI-enabled transformation journey. So how does it go? How does the story go? We understand that it is not a matter of technology. Technology is already here. Obviously, it's improving every day, but knowing only the latest technology will get you that far. In order to be able to change your organization, you need a shift in the mindset, first of all. Obviously, you need skill set, and obviously, you need tool set. But the important thing that has not been, there hasn't been a lot of focus around is the mindset. So, how do we do that? You need to think of, if I'm going to change the processes, if I'm going to change the functions, if I'm going to change the way I operate, I cannot do everything. I need to decide which ones are just for innovation purposes, task-driven, basic, low-level improvements, because they cost little, they go fast in production, and they give us incremental value. Which ones I'm going to redesign for strategic advantage, which are key for my current business model, and what new things am I going to be doing? Completely new for me or new generally. And after I have those three buckets, we need to realize what is happening right now with all those pilots and POCs that actually stay as pilots and POCs. Economists had called it a couple, maybe a year ago, Pilotitis, like a disease. It's because people are focused very much on the use cases on the left, where they should be focusing more on how they change the process and what new things they're doing. So their mind needs to shift from left to right. Not all the way to the right, but redistribute their energy, not only on building itemized use case, and I'll talk about in a second as well. So, okay, this is the what, but the how is the method. So we have a method by which we say that, okay, and this is an interesting slide because it doesn't say much on the left, but it's good to build on it. So, okay, technology is very important, but if you need to change the processes, you obviously need to have a process spin in the way you do this work. You need to have people who understand the processes, understand the constraints, understand the human capabilities and how they merge with the AI capabilities. Therefore, you also need a lot of business knowledge and business understanding. Similarly, if you want to build new business models, you need to focus on people that have this ability to build new business models. Then you say, okay, but what do I do with the people? I need to do upskilling, reskilling, adoption, change management. Hire for and build versatility. Hire for and build resilience. And then org structures and governance. Who reports to whom? How many people report to me? What if I have 3 people and 4 agents? What if I report to an agent? How am I measured? What are the KPIs, etc.? Are the organizations becoming flatter? Do I need fewer juniors or do I need fewer managers? And all of that. So it's the people aspect. So obviously we talked about the strategy, we talked about technology, we talked about business, we talked about people, and obviously I need to do this in a safe manner. There's GDPR, there's a UAI Act, there's cybersecurity risks, there's controls that I need to put in place, regulation that is sector specific. So all of this, let's call it let's call it more broadly responsible AI, although I'm not going definitional, but all these things that makes you do all these things safely, let's call it responsible AI for the purpose of this slide. So, okay, but after I do that, I say some clients usually have the same needs. You know, they have order to cash, they have record to report, they have procure to pay, they have hire to retire, they have loan origination if they're a bank, they have insurance claims if they're an insurance company. They have some blueprints, they have some major functions in their organizations that are very important. We, with our knowledge, can actually design those future AI blueprints. And actually, this is what we're doing, and we have done many of those already, where we have defined the blueprints not in a human-only way, but in an AI-native way. And we do that in a structured way so that these blueprints are consistent because this allows us for agent reusability. Okay, so if you've identified a type of agent in one process, then you can use in one blueprint, you can actually use it in other blueprints as well. And that brings efficiencies, many more efficiencies than building use case by use case. So the first one may take X time and X cost, the second one may take half of that, and the third may take 1/4 of that. So, okay, so you've done all that, but all of this is theory. Let's call it slides, let's call it PowerPoints. Then the thing is, you have built a bunch of things, and you don't know where they are, who has access to them, how people can request access to them, who's monitoring their usage, who's providing access. You need a marketplace to stick everything you're building into that marketplace so people can go and see what is available and then request access, the approvers providing access, the administrator uploading new stuff, new versions, monitoring usage, etc. And this marketplace can include assets that are built by third parties and assets that are built internally in the organization in a way that creates a unified front so that the users are not confused. And in that marketplace, why get it empty when you can actually preload it with a lot of pre-built stuff that actually massively accelerates your journey? An example of such reusable components is the AI for data suite that, for example, there's a lot of discussion about AI-ready data. That, you know, there's the usual fear, uncertainty, and doubt that says I cannot do AI because my data is not ready. Actually, everybody has data that is useful up to a point, and they obviously need to work more to improve them. But how about using AI to improve your data so that you can improve your AI? So we've built solutions in the sense of semantic search for data mapping, data lineage, transcoding, specs to code, natural language to code, data cataloging, data classification, data quality, and all of those actually completely change the way our business analysts, data business analysts, and data engineers do their everyday work. And these come preloaded with a marketplace so that actually the people using it can actually really quickly get access to this functionality. And then, okay, you provide the marketplace and the reusable components to the broader community in an organization. For the citizen developers, everybody can use it. We also have orchestrators in the marketplace so that they can actually connect reusable components. But you need some people who will build the new and will monitor the usage and improve the issues in the marketplace and the components that are there. You need an AI factory. And the AI factory is not only people, right? It comes with methodology that includes governance, how you do innovation, how you do delivery, how you do it in an agile way, what do you do in an agile way, how do you manage talent in terms of skills, in terms of availability, in terms of interesting career progression, and how do you monitor the performance of the factory. And finally, you also need in the factory, besides the people and the methodology, you need the AI building blocks. Those are blocks that are used by the experts to build the solutions that are in the marketplace. So if we put all this together, we said there's a point of view that says it's not only about technology. It's also about business, people, and risk, responsible AI. We have a method to do that on what to do to make sure that this happen. How do you strategize? How do you transform? And how do you monitor all this ongoing journey? And we have a lot of assets that accelerate this. We have the blueprints that are sector or domain specific. We then have the marketplace with reusable components for the citizen developers. We have the AI factory with its building blocks for the experts. And all of those come, if you see on the left side of the triangle, that all of those are with built-in sector and domain knowledge so that they're very specific to the sector and the domain you're trying to solve a problem for, and also with responsible AI by design. We've stolen the expression security by design that cybersecurity experts use, and we've said it responsible AI by design, because how you build these building blocks and those reusable components needs to be responsible by design so that you don't hope that the end user will be responsible. And if any of this made sense, please come to any of the 2 workshops in the makerspace, one for the Copilot in action together with Microsoft, one for the AI for data, and then in the VIP Donors Lounge, we have the 4 futures of AI. Are we going for growth, transform, constraint, or collapse? And how do we deal with this? With robots and neuroscience, and also the teams that also presented the breakout. Thank you.